So today's video, I'm going to be getting into my team of the season so far. For each position, there's going to be nominees, as you can see on the screen, and then I will get into my pick for each position. This could obviously change between now and the end of the season. It is so far, and obviously you guys will probably have some different opinions, so do let me know who makes your team of the season down below. Starting with goalkeeper, I've gone with my three nominees in Vicario, Allister and Leno. Leno might surprise people, but I think he's been good. I actually think Raya's turned the corner as well at Arsenal, looked really, really good as well. There's been a few other people that could have got the keeper spot. I think Alisson and Vicario have definitely been the best two, but I just wanted to add a third option, so I put Leno in there. I think the toss-up is between Alisson and Vicario, but I think realistically, it's got to be Vicario. I think he's made so many super saves. How many times have I watched Tottenham play and Vicario has been making save after save after save and keeping them in games, because Tottenham have been very good going forward, they're very good at attacking, but their rest defence has been poor and they've conceded a lot of chances. And I think Vicario has been there to bail them out. And what a signing he has been. I tell you what, we were hyping up Onana as Man United fans, saying what a goalkeeper signing. Arsenal hyping up Raya. There wasn't much hype around Vicario, and he's just gone. And I thought I'd show you this around Vicario. In terms of best XG minus actual goals per 90, he ranks first. His statistics back it up as well. Been very, very good. Who are my nominees at right back? I think there's three standout nominees, and that's Trippier, Trent, and Pedro Porro. We've got to look across the whole season. Connor Bradley's been really good when he's played, but he's not played enough. Malo Gusto started to play a bit more, and he's looked really good. But realistically, across the basis of the season, these have been the three best right backs. Trent was in a brilliant period of form, and I think he's picked up an injury. Trippier started the season better than anyone else, on absolute fire, and Porro's been good and important all season. And I think Trent and Trippier have been brilliant, and I think they could make it, but I'm actually going to go with Pedro Porro. I think he edges it for me. I think he's been absolutely brilliant, and if we look at his sort of statistics here this season, he's just his percentiles, he's in the 93rd, 98th, 97th. Like, look at how many times he's in the 97th percentile for certain statistics. That is absolutely crazy, and that just highlights how good Pedro Porro. I do also want to give a shout out to Diogo Dalot. Diogo Dalot has been fantastic for United these last 2 months, really picked up form. We started a bit in and off, but I think throughout the whole season, Diogo Dalot has been very, very good. And to be honest, I probably should have included him in my nominees. I literally just was like, wait, Dalot has been very good this season while doing that as well. But I've gone with Pedro Porro. Going into the centre-backs, there's a lot of nominees here because I've got to pick two centre-backs. Players like Mickey van der Ven, I think, have been fantastic, and if he wasn't injured, he could make the list, but Mickey van der Ven won't be in the list because of his injury and because of how much the season he's missed. But he was arguably up there. Van Dijk, brilliant. Kanate, when he's coming to the team, been brilliant, but he's a bit like Mickey van der Ven. He probably just doesn't have the minutes some of the others here have. Saliba, brilliant. I think Pau Torres and Konza, that duo has been very good and underrated for Aston Villa. There's a reason Aston Villa is so high up, and they've been missing them. Even Fabian Schär, I think, has been very good for Newcastle. I thought I'd include him there as a nominee. Obviously, some of the nominees are a lot better than the others, but do you know what I mean? I just wanted to give credit where credit is due, but I've gone with Saliba and Van Dijk. I thought there's no point really showing statistics for centre-backs, because statistics for centre-backs don't really paint the whole picture, because some centre-backs, like most centre-backs, will probably have more tackles made than Van Dijk and Saliba this season because they play for a team that means they have to make more tackles. Do you know what I mean? There's no point showing the statistics, but I think we can stick with Saliba and Van Dijk as the best two centre-backs in the league this season. They have been absolute beasts, rocks. They are both physically brilliant and athletically brilliant, so they've got the physicality to win the duels, they've got the pace, they've got recovery pace. Van Dijk is the best box defender in the world, his ability to win headers. To be fair, Varane is up there. Varane's been really good for United in terms of box defender. And Saliba's reading of the game, so hard to get by. Two very good centre-backs. And left back, I've got nominees here, and I think the winner for me is clear. I think Zinchenko's been decent. I think Joe Gomez, he's not played left back all season, but he's done a very good job filling in there, and he's naturally a centre back. But it's got to be a doggy. When you think of Robertson and Shaw, probably arguably the two best Premier League left backs, they've been out all season. The left back, Paul, isn't the best at the moment, but the doggy has been very, very good. You can look at his statistics here. It doesn't have the attacking statistics that Pedro Porro has, but for the most part, a doggy has been very good this season, and probably the most consistent and key to Spurs' success, particularly early on in the season. Continuing on to the midfield, we've got two sections of midfield nominees. We've got players like Endo and McAllister that have been absolutely immense for Liverpool. Declan Rice and Rodri, do I even need to explain why they're a nominee? And I wanted to include some other nominees. Well, you know, I think Declan Rice, McAllister, Endo and Rodri have been another level. Kamara, of Aston Villa has been good. Bruno Guimaraes of Newcastle has been good. And Basuma has been good. He dropped off a bit, but for the most part, he's been good. Obviously, some nominees have been a lot better than others, but I'm just giving credit to particular players that really impressed me. And look, I do apologise if I missed out any other midfielders. I can't put every midfielder in, but I just wanted to give credit to those midfielders that have caught my eye in particular, but also these midfielders as well. Odegaard, I think second half of the season he's really turned a corner and looked good, but obviously he won't be in my final three midfielders just because he had a little bit of a blip. Bernardo Silva for the most part has been great this season. Foden's been brilliant. I mean, you can argue he's a winger. Barkley stepped up for Luton Town. And Maddison, if he wasn't injured, Maddison before his injury was like player of the season before his injury, but Maddison won't be there because of his injury, but I think I had to give him credit for how well he's done. Edson Alvarez, I think the most underrated player in the Premier League this season in terms of what he's done, or at least one of them. Maybe not the most, but top 5, 100%. And Szoboszlai has been brilliant. All of those midfielders have been brilliant, and I had to pick 3 that stood out the most to me. And I've got to look at consistency across the season, importance for their team, how good they've been. And I've gone with Rodri, Declan Rice, and McAllister. It was very difficult to pick 3 players that arguably played defensive midfield most of the season. Man City are unbeaten with Rodri in the team. I think that tells you everything you need to know. Declan Rice is an absolute interception monster. Arsenal have, I think they might have the best defensive record in the league now, and they also have the best goal difference. And that partly has been just because of Declan Rice. Defensively, Arsenal have not had a problem all season. It's been about their attack looking, which they look to have done recently. But Declan Rice's reading of the game is insane. And then McAllister, whose all-round game has been brilliant. The fact that he's not a natural 6, he's played there a lot. But we saw with Endo coming in, him pushing up as an 8, his ability to break lines, his ability to change the intensity of the game, to dictate the game, to be so complete. And I saw this and I thought this was interesting. As you can see, Rodri is just Rodri. Rodri is the best DM in the world, but you can look at McAllister and you can look at Rice and you can just see how similar and how complete they've been. McAllister's had to do a lot more sort of defensively. Rodri does a lot more in terms of ball carrying and key passes. But you can look at their statistics and how all-round good they've been. I could show you other players' statistics and they would be nothing like this in terms of percentiles, just to highlight how good those midfielders have been. Going into the wingers, again, a lot of nominees, some nominees better than the others, but I think you've got to give credit where credit is due to a lot of players. We obviously will be picking 2 of these players. Kudus can play on the wing, can play centrally well. Cole Palmer can play on the wing, can play centrally, been phenomenal for Chelsea. It's mad to think that Chelsea signed all these big name stars. The big question marks around the Cole Palmer signing, and he's just put them all to shame. He's been unbelievable for Chelsea. He's been so key. His ability to invert and use that half space to create, to cause a threat has been brilliant. Anthony Gordon, what a season he's having for Newcastle, I have to admit. Do apologise if we got a bit of lag there, but what stands out for me about Anthony Gordon is how good his work rate is. Jarrod Bowen's been incredible. Son's been incredible. I think you could argue Son could be a striker nominee, but I put them winger nominees because ideally he is a winger, but he's played a mix of both. Pedro Neto, when he's fit, is brilliant. Leon Bailey, not heard many people talk about how good he's been this season other than Villa fans, but he's been absolutely brilliant. Bukayo Saka has been fantastic, and Mo Salah's in the middle for a reason. Do I need to speak about Mo Salah? Which brings me into my picks, and I guess statistics do help with this. And I think a lot of players have been good, but Son and Salah are my standout. Son, considering Tottenham have had a lot of injuries, a lot of key players missing, his importance to Tottenham, Harry Kane being absent, the way he stepped up, brilliant. Sonny, the runs he does in behind, his all-round play is brilliant. But Mohamed Salah, that's 29 goal contributions in 2,000 minutes. That is more than a goal contribution a game. And obviously, game is not all about stats. Like, it isn't all about stats. And I know some people don't like Salah because they're always just stat merchant and all of this and all of that. Personally, don't get the Salah hate. I think people disrespect him, but I think Salah makes those stats look normal. That's the thing with Salah, and I think that's why he gets more stick. People are saying, "Oh no, Salah doesn't make my team this season. He's been okay, but he's not been brilliant." And I'm like, have you watched Salah? Like, he had a blip for a couple of games, but for the most part, Salah's been clutch this season. He's been very good. I feel like because Salah makes getting 30 goal contributions a season the norm, for people to recognise Salah, he's got to get like 50 goal contributions a season. It's like if any other player gets Salah's numbers, they are the best player ever. But when Salah does it, everyone's like, oh yeah, he's good. It's just Salah. I feel like because he's been so good in the past, people don't realise that he's still so good. Which, again, I apologise if lag, picking up on here, brings me into the final nominees, which is striker. I was going to put Isak in here of Newcastle, but he's had a bit of injury trouble. I mean, if it was second half of the season, I'd be putting Rasmus Højlund in here. But as much as I love Rasmus Højlund, I think he's amazing as a Man United fan. I don't think I can put him in the nominees when it took 14 games for him to score a goal. I've got Cunha and Hwang of Wolves, both been very, very good. Cunha will obviously not be in this end of the season because he's out. injured. Solanke really stepped up for Bournemouth. Ollie Watkins has been absolutely brilliant, and of course Erling Haaland. All strikers have been absolutely brilliant this season. To be honest, a lot of the strikers have really stepped up this season, and they've all got good numbers in terms of goals. And my pick might surprise you, but I'm actually going to go Ollie Watkins over Haaland, because I'm looking at the chances Watkins gets compared to the chances Haaland gets. The chances created for him, his expected XG, his possession, his shots per game, his finishing rate. And I think when you realise that Watkins is in a Villa side and Haaland's in a Manchester City side, I actually think Watkins is having a better season than Haaland. Haaland is the better player, without a doubt in my mind. But when you think that Watkins has 30 goal contributions this season, that's insane. Ollie Watkins is the first player to register double figures for goals and assists in the Premier League. He doesn't just score, he assists. His all-round game is good. He's on 30 goal contributions for the season. He could end on 40, 50 goal contributions this season, which is like very few players do that. We're looking at Harry Kane numbers. We're looking that level for Aston Villa. I think Watkins has been phenomenal, so that is why he's my pick at striker. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching today's video. Please do hit the like button. Please do subscribe down below if you're new. Thank you for watching. Bye.